issues affecting mental health is mainly because of social media.
From COVID time, it still impacts us today. Like, some of us feel a bit lonely and isolated, and we have a lot of pressure from the exams. So yeah, sometimes a lot, like the world and social media and just people around us, and then also we're a bit growing up, so sometimes we feel like maybe people around us can be a bit oppressive.
No matter how many people tell you that men and women are equal, it's not, and that causes like a lot of pressure. Like, I feel like as a girl, we have to do so much more to succeed than what a boy would have to do.
And as a person of colour as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I think some of the main issues that affect black and brown girls today are to do with just feeling discriminated against, whether it's to do with their race, gender, thinking about where this sense of belonging can impact on their self-esteem.
Like, some people might say it's because they hate Muslims or something like that. That just confuses you even more, and it just like makes you more anxious about what you can do and what you can't and what's expected of you.
Muslim girls who wear the hijab have it a lot harder because they're more likely to get like hate crimes or shouted at on the streets.
When Muslim women, especially young girls, especially when Muslim young girls have to go through these stereotypes that just get put in their faces, like, no, you're oppressed, you're not being treated right. Like, I think it does affect them as well. It does affect their mental health.
We've got lots of girls from different backgrounds, but a majority of them are Muslim. And it's really good for them to see things that are beyond their scope of what's everyday to them. So having Muslim Girls Fencing, an organisation that got the word Muslim girl, they can already relate to that.
I think the issue with having generic services is that it's not culturally sensitive enough, so thinking about the tools that you might use, if they're quite generic, they're not taking into account someone's culture, their religion, their race, the potential nuances that they might be dealing with. And if it's a practitioner who hasn't been trained or who isn't familiar with that particular culture, they're not going to know how to then work with that young person on that level. And again, it will leave the young person feeling marginalised.
So what we've learned, that the most important thing when it comes to Muslim Girls Fence is combining those three things of having a space where they're able to explore their identity, to like challenge those narratives and stereotypes about themselves in a safe and in a brave space, which is like creative as well. So that's what we really focus on.
I think Muslim Girls Fence is such an amazing project because you're working on so many different levels. There's the creative aspect, so you're using different tools, you're providing a nice creative space where they can get in touch with emotions.
So I've been coaching this project for over 4 years, and we've worked with a variety of different girls, but I think often when they come in they might be a little bit shy or have confidence issues, and usually by the end of the project they're really loud and kind of screaming and very boisterous, and it's really exciting actually to see them develop like that in such a short period of time. I think the cool thing with MGF is that we sort of mix everything together and sort of say you can be everything and you can encompass everything. You can be powerful, you can be strong, you can be feminine, you can be all of these things.
So I think one of the wonderful things that Muslim Girl Fence teaches is helping girls to feel confident to step in. And one of the moves is lunging forward, and it's about how do we own the space? How is it okay for girls to feel like I can step in, I can have a voice and I can be heard?
This is the world around me, but this is not going to stop me from being who I want to be and reach my own potential.
I think it's important to show young people that they can do anything, and that kind of the possibilities are limitless.
Fencing really helped me because I was able to grow my confidence.
Creativity is very good for your mental well-being because it shows that I'm being creative and I'm learning new things.
The world around you will give you these boxes, but you don't have to fill them.
When we do our sessions, I feel like I can say what I want and not be judged. Like the teachers that are in charge of the sessions, they're very supportive.
Muslim Girls Fence is good that we can meet more Muslim girls who have the same ambition to fence as well. Because I thought, oh, no one else would want to fence.
a place for us to relax and feel safe. Like, you know, it's like a safe space for me to come into at the middle of the week and just make myself busy and forget about all the worries I have and clear my head.
The best support you can get as a girl in Tower Hamlets is support from other girls.
There's definitely like a sense of sisterhood amongst other girls.
It helps your mental health and it makes you feel happy about yourselves.
I think it's really important to address their needs because there are so many challenges that they are facing, and if we can help them to connect with that, if we can help create a safe space where they feel understood on all the different levels, so that they feel understood from a religious perspective and they can connect with what religion means to them and what feels safe for them within that space.
People just imagine Muslim girls to be in the kitchen, like cooking, cleaning and stuff. And to be a Muslim girl who does sports and stuff, I think it really helps because no one really expects that.
Just like makes you feel free and like shows like boys what girls can be doing.
A project like Muslim Girl Fencing helps empower young women, especially when in this day and age there isn't enough projects and programs that are representing and empowering young Muslim girls, and especially in a society where we're often looked as oppressed and dehumanized often sometimes as well.
Yeah, and it definitely feels like, you know, if I go anywhere and do something and I'm also wearing my hijab, it could like, you know, sort of speak out against someone who might be Islamophobic or something, like, look, there's a hijabi doing something there.
Before, there was like a stereotype that men could only do this type of sports, like fighting is not for women and stuff. But I think that it shows that fighting can also be for girls and that we're breaking these stereotypes through this club.
In our workshops, we talk a lot about identity and safe spaces and being that you're not alone, that you are not the only person that is feeling maybe low or feeling impacted by media and news when something comes out that's like Islamophobic.
I feel really proud of being a Muslim girl because it shows that I follow my heritage and follow my religion.
When we have our workshops, we talk a lot about, one of the main words that come up for us is like that we're oppressed, that we're surveilled, and that we're terrorists. And this high level of surveillance impacts, and this constant level of surveillance impacts our well-being. That is like a heightened level of stress that like the average person doesn't have to deal with. And it's so important that we create spaces for young people to be able to feel like they're able to express themselves free of judgment, free of repercussion of being potentially referred to things like prevent, or having that like level of surveillance, because they have that in so many different parts of their life and we don't want to contribute to that. And it leads young people to censoring themselves as well, because they have a fear of being referred to prevent. And this internalization that like maybe the thoughts or the feelings or the confusion that you potentially have around your faith or your gender or all of those different things, that you are the problem and that you internalize that. And what we really want to create is a space to be like, there is joy, and there's joy and complexity and messiness and lots of different ways to be a Muslim girl today in the UK, and that's a beautiful thing, and that's what we try to create in our space, in our spaces, whether that's through fencing, whether that's through our creative workshop, whether that's through the politics of discussion and that open and safe space.
For people from minority groups, they struggle to feel connected and to feel understood. So it's trying to create a space where it's culturally sensitive and that they feel like that they're understood and people understand their struggles and what that might mean for them. So I think for schools to be able to have that, to be able to provide the space, the funding for training to happen, for young people to be able, for the teachers to feel confident enough in being able to approach students and to create that space for them to have these conversations. I think for lots of teachers, they might feel quite wary about what can we talk about, what can't we talk about, how will this be taken, how will the families feel if we start to have these conversations here. So, but giving teachers the confidence and the tools to support them, they'll then be able to open up a space to be able to talk to the young people.
And to celebrate all the beauty and joy of what it means to be a young Muslim girl, and the sisterhood that comes with that too. We do that through schools and also in communities across the country.